Hello guys, this is Ray from Bricksmaven, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to set up core framework for the alpha template. First things first, there are some prerequisites. You need to have installed Bricks, you need to have entered in your license, etc. And then you need to have installed core framework. You can get it from the core framework website, from your account. Go to your account, log in, do whatever you need to do, get in there, download core framework, install it on your website. Then you should go to the add-ons, add your license key, enable it, save changes, and basically you're not ready to go. Okay, so the next thing you should do is actually install the core files. So you need to go to manage a project. You browse your files. You can download the core files of alpha template from your account. There's a link in your account on the Bricksmaven website where you can download the file. You browse a file, then you come to manage project. You browse your files, you add it here, and then okay, so once you import your core files, you'll see it on the right side. And as you can see, there are some differences. So since this is a base install, right, what we can do is just to override all. So once we do that, we have now successfully imported our styles. Then we save changes. So now we have all the styles that the core framework is using. Now, the core framework is basically using the default styling of the core framework with some additions, which I'm going to walk through right now, so you know the changes that we made. And after I've shown you guys the changes that we made, I will then show you the extra steps that you need to take to ensure that core framework is installed properly and that everything works correctly. Okay, so first things first, we go to the colors. So basically on the color screen, what we have done is I generated, so if you first of all make sure that we enable the dark mode. So dark mode is enabled, the transparent variance is enabled, the default count of the shades and the tint is 4, but we generated 9. The same goes for your secondary colors, the same goes for your tertiary colors. Now if you somehow decide to change these variables, which I do not recommend, because if you do change these color names, the colors on the blocks will break, because it's not like if you change these variables that they will change in the fields where you set them in bricks, right? So leave this as it is. If you want to add new colors, and then you can always switch them in the designs. As for the background, once we come to background, normally the default colors on background is BG body and BG surface. So what I went to do is I added BG body reverse. Why did I do this? Because my system is set to light mode, so that's the default. So it shows light mode. On light mode, we have the white. On dark mode, it goes to dark. But let's say you have a design where on light mode you have a dark background, right? You might want to once you flip it, you want the dark background that's on the light background to become light, because if it stays dark, you cannot see it on the dark mode, right? So there's a BG body reverse, and you might be thinking, okay, when would you use this, right? So let's say we have for example, let's say we have a shape on the background of a section, right? So this shape is on top of the background of the section, so this might be a good use of this BG body reverse, right? So once you flip the colors around, you'll still be able to see this BG body reverse. You can always change the colors if you see fit. Furthermore, On the text, I did the same, the colors. So the default is text body and text title. But there's instances where you have a light text on a when you have a light text on a dark background, right? On a dark background, and if you flip it around, you want your text to be seen. So I created a variable for the text body and the text title. I might not be able to show you an example right now, but I felt that this was also necessary so that we can always ensure that in every situation basically all our text is being seen, right? Okay. So on the base, this is just the same. Neutral is the same, and as for tints and everything, I did not do it for the background. For the background text, base, or they're just default the way they are. And then for the neutral, I generated variants. I'm not sure if this is default though. And for the dark, I also have, you can see, variant shades. Actually, it's not even necessary. If this was not all the way dark, I just wanted a dark color so you cannot see the differences. And here we have the tints, which has the dark grays, the lighter grays. So I use tints a lot, the lighter version of course. And I also did the same, I think, with the status also only has variants too, and also transparency variants for the error. So that's actually it for the color group. So if we go to typography, basically this is just the way it is. Nothing was really tweaked here. Might have changed the font, the minimum font size and the maximum font size, but even that I just left alone. Spacing, the same thing. I did not touch the spacing. I just left it the way it is. And component, same thing. I think I made a change to, not here, I think on the link, yes, the link had the default link component has a underline. I removed that. So that's the change I made there. So it's just little changes, right? As for the layout, I didn't touch anything. Design, didn't touch anything. Other, if you scroll all the way down, I added some custom select. I will speak more on this later on some stuff, but just to let you know real quick, the body, I added 100 VH. This will allow the header and footer not to touch, because normally if you open like a empty page, you'll see that the header is touching the footer. So by giving it 100 VH, it's going to be separated from each other, right? And then I also added the color on the, so just the color for the text is the text body. This refers to the dark mode, and that means that once you apply your dark mode, once you switch colors, that means the color will switch from light to dark or dark to light. Sections. So as for the sections, 4 does not automatically add padding to your sections, so I added them here. This has an advantage because we do not you don't need to add them in your brick theme styles, because in your brick theme styles, these same settings you can add them there too, but I added them to the core framework because it's also easy to edit. I don't need to go into brick settings. I can just edit everything from here, right? Makes my life easier. I can show you guys after this how to do that in bricks, but this is basically an easier way, and it's just easy to edit, and all your styles, all your CSS classes are here and variables. So for the brick section, we have a top and bottom of space 3XL and left and right of space cell. And then for text link, I also added a color and also a hover color for just a normal text link. You can also change this. You can also add this in bricks too, but I did it here because it's easy for me to manage. For my H1, H2, H3 to 6, I added a text title color because I want them all to have the same text title color. This is also referring to dark mode, dark and light mode. This will also make it easier to switch and reverse or whatever, right? So this will be the default variable that we have. And for special instances, I can always go to the text title reverse or another color of my choosing. And as for I also added some outline styles. By the way, also shout out to Sidar. I also got some of this styling from him. So this setting basically moves the standard bricks outline that you see, so you get this red outline. But once you tab, you will not get that outline. But not this just ensures that you do not get that red outline. But once you tab, I think once you tab, you'll see it though. But yeah, this was also necessary, so I added this too. And then we have here some semantic variables, which I am not using in the blocks, but I added them because I'm using this setup too to also build other projects, and in the future I'll be using these variables too, like container gap. So for my container, I want a specific consistent spacing, so I'm referencing the space for Excel variable. And then I'll have a content gap, so we have a container, and then the container has content, and that content also needs a specific gap. And then we have the grid gap. These conventions I've actually taken from ACSS, which are a really good way of adding consistency to your design. And you might be thinking, okay, why do you not use the variables of space, the variables of core that's already been provided? Reason being because these are contextual situations. Because let's say I have 10 containers spread over 10 pages, and I'm using the var space for Excel. That means I need to go to all the 10 pages to change this value, right? Whereas if I use container gap, that's referencing this value, I could come back and say, okay, I want it to be to Excel and then to be changed everywhere, right? I do not need to go to those 10 places and change. So it's a more contextual thing. You could also do the same thing for, maybe you can also create special gaps for like forms and stuff. You know, you can do a lot of semantic contextual variables that you can create that can really help keep your projects consistent and easy to manage, right? So these are really good additions. Maybe in the future I might add other things that I see that I think, okay, these are really good additions. You know, you might want to have a special spacing for your footers, for your header. You can just add them here, right? Okay, good. Now that we've gone over this stuff, I've spoken a lot. I would like to talk about preferences. So we need to match your container width needs to match the container width set, the max screen width, sorry, set in core framework. The default the container size in bricks is 1100 pixels. For core, it's 1400 pixels. The reason why this has to match is to make sure that your fluid spacing and typography reaches their maximum size, right? Because if this does not match, let's say in bricks is 1140 and core framework is 1400 pixels, so that means that once it reaches 1100 pixels, it reaches maximum, but it can still go up to 1400, right? So it will not reach its max size or the max spacing or whatever, right? So we need to make sure that this is the same. So let's do that quickly. So I'm going to go into bricks. I already have the pages open here. I'm going to open this in bricks, and then you go to your settings, your theme styles. I already had theme styles opened up here. And then first you set your condition to the entire site. So you choose entire site from screen and you just close it. And you go to container, and here you see 1400, right? You put in 1400, and I want to show you guys two other things. Like I was just talking about the custom selectors and variables I added, right? So if we go to the site background, you see I added here Okay, for this site I added dark, but you can come here and add the, where is it, BG body, okay, to break whatever I had. But this will enable me to use the dark and light mode, right? So see, I can switch. Here's the core has a dark and light mode toggle. So by toggling this, you see, I can switch to light or dark mode, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we can come down here to typography, and we can go to our body, and for our body, for the color, I could add the text body, right? So whatever text I have on the body, it will also switch between light and dark mode. I could also go to the headings and add the text title. So I set them all here so that all the headings, all the text sizes are set for light and dark mode. Yeah, and normally you could also come here to your section and you could add here the spacing, right? Like we had before. So that's the 4x. So for Excel, here we can also add for Excel and Excel and the Excel. So these settings I'm inputting in here in the builder, right? I don't need to do that here. I actually have them right here. So if I want to make a quick change on the fly, I just come here to core, go to order, scroll the way down, and make the changes here. So basically the changes I set here, I put them here. It just makes my life easier. So, because look, if we do not do this, let me just do this real quick. Let's copy this. I'll save this. For example, the section, right? And let me just reload the builder. I don't think I saved. Anyways, if you were to add a section, as you can see, it doesn't have any padding. No padding whatsoever. So by adding that padding there in the core framework settings, it will really help. Every time we add a new section, it will just, let me remove this. Let me just reload. So once I reload and add a section again, you'll see that it adds the padding. So bears, boom, there it is. We have a padding. So every time I add a new section, it has the padding applied to the section. So I don't need to do that manually again. So that's the reason why that's there. Same goes for our link. Same goes for the things that the styling that we've set. Okay, so after we've done this, we've now matched the container width. So we've ensured that our spacing and fluid typography and all this stuff matches, can now reach a maximum size. The next thing that we need to do is we need to match the breakpoint of core, because you can see, let me pull up, let me see if I can see it. Look, there's you can actually set your breakpoints in Bricks, but I've not enabled it here. So to be able to enable it in Bricks, we should go to Bricks, settings, and then custom breakpoints, right? I save. So if I refresh the build, I should be able to see the custom breakpoints. Okay, so we have the custom breakpoints here, and you can see this is the breakpoints of Brick. So our base breakpoint is the 1400. So we have 1400, we have 991, we have 767, and 478. So if we go back to the core framework and check out the breakpoints, we have 1400, we have 991, 767. Let's see here. 991, 767, and where is it? 480. So tablet portrait is correct. The mobile landscape is correct, but the mobile portrait is incorrect. So I want the Bricks breakpoint to match the breakpoint of core. So we just edit it, and we make sure that this is 480 to ensure that the to ensure that everything works perfectly. So all the styling and everything, the fluidness works perfectly. So now it's set correctly. And I think I might have already tweaked this. So in your setting, once you install once you have a fresh install, it might think this might be, if it's not core or bricks might be 7. I think it's core. Core might be 768 and 992 if I'm correct. So just check yourself. So if it looks different for you, just know that I already made changes. So once you're done, you basically just save, and that's saved. So now we are sure now that all the breakpoints are the same and that everything will work correctly. Okay, we have explored the framework already. I've already showed you the colors and everything and how that works. What else can we do right now? We've imported our core files. I've showed you guys some enhancements. That's here, the enhancements I made, and basically we're ready to pull in our blocks, right? So let me just refresh one more time. Let's go back to our templates, and we have a core templates. Let them load, and basically, I can see I forgot to add a thumbnail here, so I have to fix that. And we can start actually pulling in our blocks. Yeah, basically anything. I'll just pull it this one. And let me see that picture. Yeah, this is this. Maybe some of you might recognize this. I actually rebuilt the core framework website. So I have the images here. Let me see. Wow, what's going on? Okay, that's awkward. Why did that happen? Oh wait, it's because of the loom thing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so as you can see, I just imported the block. So let's say if I was to, oh wait, I forgot this image here. Let me just add this image. So it's there. So if I was to like switch the toggle, you see how it's changing? That's the light and dark mode. That's on it. So I think this is the end of the video, right? So I would just encourage you guys to follow the steps and to ensure that you install, and just take all the steps and install, so that you install it the right way, so that the variables work for you, the utility classes work for you, and everything works perfectly for you. If you do it differently, if your container width does not match, if your breakpoints don't match, you're going to have some issues and things are not going to work correctly. And also make sure you generate the color styles. Make sure they're 9, like I said. You can always if you find this too much, if you set it to 4, for example, some blocks you might not see some colors. So, and if you see, like, for instance, this would be like secondary D2 on a text. Let's say it's on a header or something, on a heading, and you're not seeing any color. It might be an issue with this thing. Just know that it's set to 9, and yeah, that's it. So if you guys have any questions for me, if anything is unclear, just put it down in the comments. You can always DM me through the Facebook group. You can send a mail to support@bricksmaven.com, and I will help you soon as I get to the mail. I try to react pretty quick, at least within a day. Sometimes if I see the mail, I react pretty quickly, and I can make a video if it's something that's complex, or I can just send you an email. Yes, thank you for watching this movie. Movie, wow. Movie. This is not a movie. I think I'll cut that out. Anyways, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to listen. It's actually a longer video than I expected it to be. Maybe I was too elaborated or whatever on some points. But I hope it's clear. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice day. And bye.